Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. Dear brothers, welcome to the second episode of Subhanallah. What do we have here? We have some issues. Okay. Anyway. So, Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. Welcome to the fourth episode of the Jurisprudence of Zawaj or Nikah, or marriage. In this series, we explore the jurisprudence of a nikah with all four aspects that I've decided to put them in terms of categories. So we talked about the nikah in itself, before and the beginning of it. Then we talked about the duties and the rights. Then we talked about the talaq and the khula'. And now, we're talking about polygamy. Polygamy in Islam is something, there's a lot of misconception about it. There's a lot of noise about it and around it. And it's something that people seems to be, don't get the right to grasp of it, at least from the way people talk about it and refer to it. And in many cases, I've seen the way they abuse it as well, subhanAllah. So, so we're going to talk about, put them into 7 points. So to start first with, is it halal or haram? It is definitely halal. It's permitted by Allah Azza wa Jal. And in the Quran it says, فَانْكَحُوا مَا طَابَ لَكُم مِنَ النِّسَاءِ مَثْنَى وَثُلَاثٌ وَرُبَاعٌ. So Allah Azza wa Jal was talking to men who sometimes make their choices narrow by trying to go for the orphan, and with that comes injustice for the orphans. So he said, do not go and cause injustice in case you are concerned that you do this, and go and marry as is allowed to you, 2 or 3 or 4 at the same time. The total is not 9. There's only one scholar said of that, and it's incorrect. It's up to 4 wives. You can have up to 4 wives in one go. But equally, it's a permission, not a command. And it comes with the strict conditions. It does serve many possible benefits, like protection from zina, supporting widows and divorcees, and fulfilling emotional, physical needs. Even if a woman is not in hardship, it's her feelings, her emotions are also need to be taken into consideration. It doesn't have to be somebody who was married before. It could be somebody who is still a virgin, never been married before. So it doesn't have to, that's not a condition that you have to be married before. But when we look into anything with the Quran, with anything with the Deen, we always look into Quran and Sunnah and the actions of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So the Sunnah, what the things he said and the things he's done as well. So we see that he married like Ummuna Aisha, who had never married before, and other women who were married before. So it's not a strict that have to be for the second wife, have to be somebody who were married before already. But polygamy is not just an open invitation to go and marry anyone without taking consideration a list of things. Everything we're gonna talk about, the conditions, the etiquette, and the manners that should be around the polygamy, it's all the same ones as the first marriage. And this is something people don't understand. The first marriage have the same right as all the other marriages and vice versa. Maybe there's only one thing that will be a bit of an exception condition there, which is that you need to be extra careful with justice, because now you've got 2 people who are providing for, so you have to have the justice in between them. Your heart will never be able to be complete, have that equal divide between 2, and that's allowed in Islam. But what you give and what you provide, what you sustain with, have to be provided with justice for both of them. So justice between the wives is paramount. And Allah Azza wa Jal was saying to the men who were looking to get married and they tried to go for an orphan because she might be more affordable, and Allah Azza wa Jal did not accept that. So he said, إن خفتم ألا تقسطوا في اليتامى فانكحوا فانكحوا ما طاب لكم من النساء مثنى وثلاث ورباع وإن خفتم ألا تعدلوا فواحدة. So it's Surah An-Nisa, ayah 4 and 3. It says, if you fear that you will not be just, then marry only one. And the just here, Allah Azza wa Jalla is talking about is the things that you can provide with, sustain. Nothing to do with the heart. The heart affairs are separate, and we'll come about it later. There is, and the other condition is you're able to, and that's the same condition is in any marriage. So من استطاع منكم الباءة فليتزوج. Whoever can get married should get married. The hadith Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was saying to all young, if you can marry, get married. If you can't, fast. So the key word is if you can, and the ability is not just about the money. It's not about the physical ability. It's about the also be able to deal with two households with maturity, manage them with wisdom, with kindness, with ability to make it a successful relationship, with the ability to support both of them. Muhammad says, كَفَى بِالْمَرْءِ أَنْ يُضَيَّعَ مَنْ يَقُوتُ. So it's enough sin for a man to neglect those who is responsible for. You know, this is the sin that's just, it will be wipe you clean. Just that's it. It's enough. So are you able to provide? Are you able to support? Are you able to be there for them? That's what you need to look into it. Obviously, there's the sincere intention, because it cannot be used as a tool of revenge, ego, or escaping from a problem in the first marriage. The polygamy cannot be, you cannot go and get married because your wife already have something that bad. You need to fix that. Accept it the way it is. If you still feel that you want to, after accepting, if you still feel that you want to get married someone, marry someone. But don't make it, oh, my wife can't get children, so I'm going to go and marry someone else. Or my wife is not beautiful, so I'm going to go and marry someone who is beautiful. My wife is this or the other, so I'm going to go to someone to get that one. The problem with this approach is everybody will come with their own problems, shortcomings, shortfalls. They will all come with their own issues. So if you didn't like something with your first wife and took a second wife who's got that thing, maybe she's beautiful, maybe she can provide, give you children, or even she's got something, higher education, she will also have other issues. And then if you going for the marriage afterward because you're looking for something better, it's not gonna work. What you need to be is content with your marriage, and if you still want to have a second wife, then have a second wife. Don't take a second wife or third or fourth because the first one is not this or the other. You'll have to be able to deal with that. If it comes to a point where you're not happy, like it happened with Muhammad sallallahu with Sauda bint Zama'a, he was saying, I'm not able to be with you like a husband and wife, so I need to let you go. And she said, Wallahi, I don't even want to have that aspect of our marriage, but I would love to be your wife in Jannah. So leave me as your wife, because I'm wife in Dunya in Jannah. So leave me be as your wife and give my nice to Aisha. So they've resolved that within that marriage. And they have a relationship that's content and happy, and they have an understanding. And that's what needs to happen. So the sincere intention. Apart from that, it's it have the same condition. The fourth marriages, it all have the same conditions. The man have to prepare, to be able to provide, to sustain, to be just, to be wise, to be caring, to be supportive, etc. There is an issue around the finance part of it. It's not easy to have two households or three or four, but yet there are some women who's willing to give up that right for the sake of having a man in their lives. Maybe they're missing the intimacy aspect. They're missing the company aspect. Maybe they're missing the support somehow aspect. But it's not just about the money. Oh, they don't want the money. They're fine. They're sustained. So it's not the money, and it's fine because al-qawama, the guardianship or the leadership, sorry, of a man in the house, it's not rigidly attached to the money. It's not rigidly attached to how much he spend or ability to spend. Prophet Ayub, alayhi salam, he wasn't able to spend for many years, and his wife was the bread earner, and he was ill in his bed. She did not leave him. He did not become less of a man. He did not lose his kawama. He's still the man of the house. He still have the kawama, and he still was the leader of the house. So it's not associated with it. So somebody says, well, you can't provide, so don't get married. Well, if she's happy, it's fine. As long as there's no coercing, there's no manipulation, there's no forcing, as long as it's a clear intention, it's sincere intention, they both want to be together. They've made some compromises. Maybe she make compromises by not he's not providing as much as she's used to, and that's all right. Or not to provide her all, or not to give her a house, or not to give her this or the other. While the other wife, by the way, she's got them, the first one. It's fine as long as there is no coercing into it. Now, talking about the first wife, or even the second one, some women are so jealous, are not able to be a second wife, or not to be able to be a first wife, and there's a second or third or fourth. And I've seen some women who changed in time, or it seems some women who changed their even views because whatever happened in their situation, they became in a situation where they can only marry a decent man who's already married. So they make them the sacrifice. Whatever happened, there always have to be weighing the benefits and the harm. Al-masalih wal-mafasid. If somebody wants to get married, it's halal, it's shara. He's a stand-up man. He's doing what he should be doing Islamically, ethically, etiquette, providing all the rest of it. But his wife doesn't accept. He's the first wife, current wife. She doesn't accept. She finds it very hard. She's very jealous, and she's objecting to it. She's challenging it, and this gonna cause then a lot of harm to the relationship, to the children, to the household, to his life, to his livelihood. It can cause a lot of problems. Then he have to be wise in terms of weighing the harms and the benefits of it. Even if it was simply his desire to marry someone, the desire of the man, the sexual desire of the man, is sacred in Islam. Allah Azza wa Jal have made it clear through Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in many hadith. If a man asks for his wife at any time, she should not stop him from having her, providing that he's good for her, he's kind to her, he's providing. They have this understanding. If he's abusive husband, not a good husband, that's a different matter. That's a different story. We're talking about standard here. So if he's asking for his wife, she should not stop him from having her. So his desire is his sexual desire is sacred. It have to be within marriage. If you desire to have another wife for whatever reason, it doesn't have to be because he's Superman and he's just two women is not enough in terms of physical performance. It could be just the matter of psychological need. Whatever the reason is, if that desire is going to cause harm to his family, household, and what have you, he need to weigh those options, because at the end of the day, having more people that you need to provide for, it means it's more responsibility. And that's the bottom line. It is more responsibility. Are you able to take this more responsibility? Are you able to maintain this, juggle those 2, 3, 4 households? Are you able to keep them performing well? This is what you need to think about, what men need to think about when they're doing so. I know there's a lot of women who, for whatever reason, some of them was right, some of them was wrong, they're so opposing of the polygamy. The polygamy is not for everybody. If you're able to do polygamy, it's fine. If you're not able to do, don't do it. Because jealousy is a serious matter that can cause a lot of issues, can cause even to death. So it is not easy. So you should not be taking it lightly. If there's going to be a polygamy, then there have to be fairness, justice in terms of treatment. And that will be giving what you can in terms of sustainability and providing, but whatever in the heart, that's in the heart. So Allah Azza wa Jal did say in the Surah Nisa, that's 4, chapter 4, verse 1 to 9, says, وَلَن تَسْتَطِيعُوا أَن تَعْدِلُوا بَيْنَ النِّسَاءِ وَلَوْ حَرِصْتُمْ. So you're not be able to be just among your wives, even if you should strive to do so. You're not able to. And that's only referring to the heart. And Muhammad used to say, Allahumma hada qasami fima amluk, fala tu'akhidni fima la amluk. Oh Allah, this is I've divided and was just what I can control, money and other materialistic, tangible things. But do not hold me accountable for what I do not control, which is the heart. And Allah Azza wa Jalla responded to that condition, not to Muhammad says, فَلَا تَمِيلُ كُلَّ الْمَيْلِ فَتَذْرُوهَا كَالْمُعَلَّقَةِ. Do not incline completely and leave her suspended. So yes, the new wife might be, you have that glossy syndrome where everything is new and glossy and everything is high intense. So the mind, the heart is so occupied with the new wife, but that phase will fade and things will go back to normal. So even when you do so, don't completely go away from your wife and leave her like suspended. That's not right. Still be nice and kind to her. And if you look into the prophetic narration, how Muhammad ﷺ dealt with having the wives, and especially dealing with the jealousy, he dealt with it with kindness, with wisdom, with easiness. Muhammad ﷺ once had, he was in the house of one of his wives. One of the narrations says it was Aisha, sitting with his other Sahabis, companions, and the wife was with him. Another wife sent him food. She cooked food. It wasn't her night, and he wanted Muhammad ﷺ to have some of that food. Now the wife received it. Let's say and let's go with the nation that version that she was Aisha. Aisha perceived it as, I'm not happy because it's my night, and you're sending money to food for him to eat and enjoy it while he's not your night. You should leave this to your night. And especially that Aisha in particular wasn't a really good cook. That came up with another story, but that's another story as well. So she wasn't really a good cook. So she hit the plate, she flipped it, fell on the floor, got broken, shattered into little pieces, and the food was all over the floor. Now there's lots of things happen here. There was no respect for Muhammad ﷺ. She did not hold her anger. And the food was spilled on the floor. And Muhammad ﷺ appreciated the blessings of Allah Azza wa Jal, and he wouldn't do that. Yet what he did is, he calmly said, "Gharat ummakum." Your mom got jealous. And straight away in this very short sentence, he said, "Gharat." So she became jealous. That is the affairs of the woman. So you have to take it in your stride. Ummakum, your mother. And he straight away remind them, this is your mom. You should respect her no matter what she says, no matter what she do. You should respect her. Equal at the same time, he's reminding the mother of believers to say, this is ghira, It's the woman affair, and we understand you, but you are also a mother, and you shouldn't be acting this way, at least in public. And took the led by example by staying calm and keep gathering the little pieces and cleaning up and what have you. After that, the mother of believers, she asked him, how can she redeem herself and repent? She said, and he said, do the same, send her food to her, do when I'm over there. So, eye for an eye. So that tells us that this is just one story of many stories how the mother of believers used to be jealous, and Muhammad SAW dealt with it. So part also of the etiquette of the polygamy is the discretion. Now with social media, many of us just put our life completely as it is on social media, and sometimes we feel that we shouldn't be doing this, because if you, for example, put on show off the new clothing or the new car or food or what have you, some of us are conscious that some of the people that around us who watch this are not necessarily people of this blessing and might cause a bit of pain to them, so they stop doing so. Equally, if a man have doing polygamy, have multi wives, and he put on his profile, today he's with this wife, they're doing this, and today with the other wife is doing that, he's exposing his private time with his wife to the other wife, not to the world. I mean, it's already bad, but also the other wife. So her jealousy is fueled, and that's not good. That's not good, husband. You need your duty is to look after her and preserve her. Now, the pain of jealousy itself is allowed. Allah Azza wa Jal have allowed this pain, kept it in the woman, and allowed it could be easily taken away. The same way he's allowed the pain of pregnancy, or the pain of the menstrual cycle, the pain, little other pains that Allah Azza wa Jal have allowed. It's fine, but if it got to a point where it became too much, Allah Azza wa Jal wouldn't allow it. So, for example, with the pregnancy, women is allowed to have abortion even after the 120 days if that abortion is dangerous. So your duty as a husband is to look after the wife, all wives, and not to cause jealousy between them, and then causing grift, and then causing animosity between them, which is another point. Some women, they confined with their children about how resentful they are to the other wife, or to the father, to the husband, but then the children became so agitated and despise the father, despise the other wife, despise the sisters and brothers from the other wives, and that's haram, 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 haram. Shouldn't be doing so. If you have an issue, keep it yourself. Try it with your so resolve it with your husband, but do not vent it to your children, and then you spoil the relationship between the children and their fathers, between the children and their stepmoms, between the children and the brothers, the half brothers and sisters. That's haram. You should not be doing so at all. So, as I promised you, these episodes are not really long. I'm trying to keep them within the half an hour. And as a final point, what we want to say is polygamy is not a trophy to show off. It's not a fix for every marriage issue. It is a test and a responsibility before it is a right and a pleasure. Whoever cannot manage one household with care should not split himself between two or more. And whoever takes this path should also do so with the humility, justice, and sincere intention. That's what I want to say to you. This is going to be our final episode now with this series for this Ramadan. Allahu A'lam, God knows if you're going to meet next Ramadan. But I pray to Allah Azza wa Jal to grant us all understanding of our faith, guide our families with mercy. Let our marriage be filled with tranquility, honor and fairness, and make us among those who rise with integrity in our public and private lives. Please pray for me, brothers. I'll pray for you, brothers and sisters. Uh, please pray for me that Allah Azza wa Jalla will make us عتقاء من النار, so we will be freed from going to Jahannam, the hellfire, and make us steady fast on his right path, inshallah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين. I pray to Allah Azza wa Jalla all goodness, and if you have any comments, just put them in the comments. Inshallah, I'll get back to you, and hopefully we'll meet again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.